Hey guys, it's Sheev the Wise, and this is Vader's Lair.
Join me, and together we can rule the galaxies.
I am the Senate.
Today we're going to do a Star Wars The Bad Batch Episode 15 preview. Let's get into it. Over the month of July, I grew really accustomed to having all the episode titles to The Bad Batch because back in June, we got the titles for the entire month of July. But now that we're heading into the final two episodes, they're going to be in August. We don't know what the episode titles are going to be, but we have a good idea of what could happen in these last two episodes. The first thing I want to bring up is the 2-episode Ryloth arc we had, in which Hauser and Crosshair both kind of seem to defy the Empire in a way. Now, with Crosshair, it might have been a lot more subtle. I think we've been building to this ever since episode 3 when Crosshair goes back into the Bad Batch barracks and he looks kind of sad that his brothers aren't there with him, right? I think in that Hauser episode where Hauser kind of does a small uprising on Ryloth in which half the clones kind of join in with him, I think it's pretty clear on Crosshair's face he has that same kind of look from episode 3 in the Ryloth arc, and then, he tells Rampart, I'm gonna go after them. And then Rampart's are like, alright dude, go for it, And then as Rampart walks away, we get that same look on Crosshair's face again. So then in episode 14, when the Bad Batch go to save Gregor and Hunter gets captured, Hunter and Crosshair have a little confrontation at the end of that episode that leads me to believe that Crosshair could already have turned. Now, a little while ago, Star Wars Meg was predicting that the radiation from the Venator blast could have affected Crosshair's chip and made it less effective. Ever since then, Crosshair has seemed more like his old self, using the toothpick, wearing his helmet less, and frankly, just somewhat seeming a little sketchy, especially with that look on his face, right? So then there's this key line that he says to Hunter where he's like, I was hoping for the entire crew, but I guess you will do, kind of thing. I think he honestly says that because he knows that, as Gregor said, once you're in the Empire, it's pretty hard to defect from it, and they don't take kindly to people that do. So Crosshair, being part of the Empire for a while now, knows that if he's going to leave the Empire, it's not going to be good for him, which is why he probably wanted the whole team. But he does think him and Hunter are probably two of the best of the Bad Batch and can find a way to get out together. Now, I think episode 15 is going to be the start of a Kaminoan clone uprising. I think everything we've had, the fact that Hauser has already rebelled in a way, it seems like the chips are kind of becoming less effective, plus now that Lama Su seems to be dead, I think it's possible Nala Se will find a way to escape, or maybe Omega will want to rescue her since she is like a mother figure. Nala Se would be the person that would know how to make the chips be ineffective or, shut them off completely. Now, in this past episode, we did see Project War Mantle going into full effect as the Stormtroopers are really starting to become a main part of the Empire and being led by clone commandos. I think it's possible the clone uprising on Kamino could be between the clones and the Stormtroopers led by the clone commandos, and it's possible we could get Darth Vader or Boba Fett within the next two episodes. I wouldn't be surprised if episode 15 kind of ended with Rampart talking to Tarkin or someone and asking them for further assistance, and they send Darth Vader in the final episode. Also, in the Battlefront 2 campaign, we see a clone uprising on Kamino in which Boba Fett is actually working with the Empire to kill off the clones that he thought were inferior insults to his father in a way. However, that is Legends now, so it's possible that Boba Fett having a tie-in to Omega and them being very similar to each other, except Omega's like a female version of him, his sister, if you will. I think it's possible that maybe Boba Fett ends up fighting for the clones instead of against them. Plus, in the Clone Wars, he did have somewhat of a protective side for the clones, or, he was protective to innocence, as we see in the unfinished Cad Bane arc. I think these last two episodes are going to be really, really crazy. I can't wait to dive into them. I will not be doing a watch party this week for this episode, but I will be doing it maybe next week going into the season finale. Now, in terms of what else we might see, I think it is possible that now that we have Gregor, maybe last episode when we see Rex, he was trying to get Wolf, and we could see Gregor, Wolf, and Rex all being part of this Kaminoan uprising and being part of the Bad Batch trying to rescue Hunter. Early on in the season, Hunter promised Omega that they would never have to go back to Kamino, and Omega also promised to Hunter that they would eventually save Crosshair. We knew at some point these paths would cross, and I think Crosshair and Hunter are going to be heading back to Kamino, where they're going to try and rescue them. And then, of course, she will have to go back to Kamino, although now the Kaminoans are no longer really after her. But again, Nala Se is now somewhat in charge of the Kaminoan facilities, or she's one of the last leaders of Kamino. And I'm excited to see how important and integral she is to these last 2 episodes. I am really excited for the end of this season of The Bad Batch, and I do think we're going to get a lot more seasons in the future. I think episode 13 with Roland the Daveronian Crime Lord will pay off in the future, and we're going to see Crime Lords become somewhat of an integral part of the show. Who knows though, I'm really excited for the future of The Bad Batch. I'm excited for the future of Star Wars. I hope you guys are too. And if you did enjoy this video, go ahead and smash the like button for me, and subscribe for more awesome Star Wars content just like this. I hope you guys enjoy episode 15 of The Bad Batch, and may the Force be with you always.